This week's all-new extra-long finale episode of Star Wars Rebels was called Twilight of the Apprentice, and it found Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra making good on their promise from the last episode. Following the advice given to them by Yoda, the Jedi make their way to the Sith planet of Malachor, a barren dead world home to a massive Sith temple that once played host to a giant battle between Jedi and Sith. The temple itself is visually stunning and just one of the many eye-popping things this finale episode had going for it. As soon as our heroes get there, they get ambushed by another more generic Inquisitor, only here's the thing, the Inquisitors aren't on the planet looking for the Jedi, quite the opposite, they're looking for someone much closer to them. This person at first when meeting Ezra called themselves the Old Master, but if you're a big Star Wars fan or if you've been on the internet at any point learning about Rebels, you'll know this person is actually Darth Maul back again. Darth Maul, whose fate was left very open-ended at the end of Clone Wars and subsequent tie-in comic book stories. Darth Maul is a real fascinating case of a character for me. I mean, on one hand, he has a great look, but on the other, he was horribly underutilized in the one movie he was in, barely saying anything and getting cut in half, only for the TV show writers to take him, build him up, and create all this new interesting lore around him. A good chunk of this episode is just watching Maul and Ezra interact with one another. They join forces to try and steal an ancient Sith holocron from the inner sanctum of the temple. At first, they lie to each other, giving fake names, Ezra of course going back to his old standby of Jabba, which is made even more hilarious by the fact that Maul obviously knows who Jabba is and knows he was lying the whole time but went along with it anyway. And yet, by the middle of the episode, the two form a very strange, very reluctant, almost respectful partnership. You see, the thing is, while Maul is still very loyal to the dark side of the Force, he has no love for Vader or the Empire, and really, why should he? They killed his brother, they ruined his people. He does, however, see much potential in young Ezra, and during their travels, the writers do a great job weaving in a bunch of Sith philosophy and even the famous Sith oath into Maul's dialogue. Ezra's interactions with him are pretty interesting too. Obviously, Ezra's a good kid and he wants to do what's right and live by the teachings that Kanan and Ahsoka have given him, but the thing is, Ahsoka and Kanan, they weren't masters. Maul is a master of darkness, of course, but a master still. When 7th sister and 5th brother come to kill Maul and retrieve the holocron, we have ourselves an amazing situation wherein Darth Maul fights alongside the Jedi against the Inquisitors. Obviously, the more seasoned good guys, especially Ahsoka, don't trust Maul as far as they could throw him, but they could use his help and his insight in getting the knowledge that the temple supposedly has to offer. Twilight of the Apprentice is an episode that is stuffed with some of the best lightsaber combat I've seen in the show to date. Just so many different formations, so many different styles, and with all this lightsaber combat comes one of the highest body counts the show has ever had. I was gonna save this for the final sum up, but I think I should just come out and say it. Twilight of the Apprentice really is the Empire Strikes Back of Star Wars Rebels. Kanan gets blinded in his fight and is forced to, battle just using his other senses, and in a nice bit of foreshadowing, he picks up a temple guard mask. You'll remember a couple episodes back, Kanan had a vision about a temple guard. Eventually we discover this temple is no temple at all, but actually an ancient Sith battle station that Maul hopes to use against the Empire. Of course, I can think of at least one person out there who's going to have a problem with that, and his name rhymes with Schmarshmader. That of course means the grand finale of Twilight of the Apprentice gives us the long-awaited showdown between Ahsoka and Vader, Master and Apprentice meeting once again on the battlefield. Now, as I've stated elsewhere, I never watched all that much Clone Wars, and part of the problem was I thought Ahsoka was a really annoying character to begin with, but even given that aside, I still thought this final battle was the coolest thing ever. This, is the last shred of Anakin trying to kill Ahsoka, and in doing so, kill that last shred of his past, the last thing that, made him Anakin so he can fully, completely become Darth Vader. This scene also has so many great shades of the Obi-Wan fight from A New Hope. The classic, when I left you, I was but the student, but now I am the master, only the roles are reversed. Twilight of the Apprentice also has the guts to end on a really sad, really dour note. Kanan is blinded, Darth Maul is free to roam and terrorize the universe once again. The heroes didn't get the knowledge they wanted, Ahsoka's fate is up in the air, and to top it all off, Ezra is now being tempted by the dark side like never before. If you couldn't already tell, I thought this was an amazing episode. In fact, it might be a true classic in the making. It ties up so many plot threads, the imagery is stunning, stunning. It offers great closure and an exclamation point to the character of Ahsoka and her entire expanded universe run from Clone Wars to now. The music is great, especially the piece used in the final sum-up montage. All in all, this was pretty much as close to perfect as you're ever gonna get. I can only give this one a perfect 10 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll feel like checking out some more videos I have on offer here at Cape Jewel.